Nathan Farley is back to kick this initial Cable One kickoff.
DeMarcus Williams and Kyle Sanders back for the Cable One kickoff. Farley's kick is heading into the end zone. It is a touchback, and the T-Wolves will start first down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Told you that Spruce is not scoring a lot of points, only 12 points on the average. And against Dallas Samuel, the only common opponent, Spruce had to intercept 2 passes late in the game. They had 2 fumbles. That's what gave them their 12-point victory over Dallas Samuel. A little more than 300 yards offense between the 2 squads combined. So this is not an offensive powerhouse, but they are getting it together. And Coach Roger Cannon said, we have an upset plan, and we plan to pay back for last year. First down and 10 for the T-Wolves from the 20-yard line, just underway. Homecoming 2003. And Dews, the quarterback, will line up in the shotgun formation. One man, DeMarcus Williams, in the backfield with him. 2 receivers either side. This is a handoff. Williams hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped for a quick loss. And let's check our Denison Yellow Jackets starting defensive lineup. Beautiful evening for football. 2nd and 10 for the T-Wolves.
In your starting lineup, notice Jeremy Grimes will be starting safety instead of Corey Robertson.
This is a pitch from Dews to Williams. He turns the corner, the left corner, nothing doing, maybe a tough yard. A tackle by the Yellow Jackets committee. Jesse Dixon comes out of there, but I think it was BB, Mr. Bill Bates, that led the charge.
Well, it's going to be 3rd down and long. Might have lost a yard. I guess they're going to spot him right at the line of scrimmage, about the 21-yard line. So call it 3rd down and 9 yards to go. 11:02. We just started at Munson Stadium. No score.
Farley, of course, the 6'2", 170-pound senior linebacker. 28 tackles, including 19 solos coming in. He just added another tackle. It is 3rd down and 9. Dews in the shotgun. He's got the ball. Back to pass. Looks near side. Has Tyree Palmer. He's got the ball. Caught at the 20, but it's loose on the ground. Denison scrambled for the ball. It's going to depend on if the official said he was down before he lost the ball, and I think that's the call.
Well, it was a nice job by the Denison Yellow Jackets. A nice swarm by the defense there. Nathan Farley on the play, and then Ryan Bergman, a lot of guys right there to make the stop as soon as the initial hit was made.
Hines 27, Mr. Anthony Hines. He had the 55-yard punt return for a touchdown 2 weeks ago on the same field. And he is back at the 45-yard line. We've got a stoppage in play, a timeout on the field, 10-12 left in quarter number 1. No score between Denison and Dallas Spruce. It's homecoming 2003. We're back after this timeout. Gutierrez punt is blocked. It is recovered by Gutierrez in the end zone. It is a safety. Denison will take a 2-0 lead. No, check that. The official's going to say that Bill Bates, Nathan Farley, actually recovered the ball. I thought the punter, Gutierrez, did at the end zone stripe.
Well, it was 4th down, so Denison was going to get the ball back anyway. I think Farley is the guy who actually blocked it. He was coming through along with Fink. Both of those guys were coming through like gangbusters. And now Denison sets up 1st and goal.
Offset eye, tight look to the right. This is a toss. Anthony Hines heading left. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard. One offensive play into homecoming 2003. And the Jackets capitalize on special teams play. Anthony Hines takes it in from 2 yards out.
That's a good way to get started, Lynn.
Not a bad way to start for Mr. Hines, 27. Shock, the part of the duo, the Shock and On duo. That is his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And 1 offensive snap. The Yellow Jackets are on the board. They lead 6-0, 9:59 to go in the first quarter of play. And this one picking up where last year's contest left off. Might have been offsides by the T-Wolves. And that's probably a good thing because Nathan Farley shanked the ball, or pushed it rather, to the right. It should be offsides against the T-Wolves. Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Looked like a lot of white jerseys on the wrong side of the field. I think Jason Smith is on the wrong side of the field with his white shirt there.
Yeah, I think so, man. Sometimes these microphones just don't hang on to your hands the way that they should.
Who's on the ground?
On that pass play, Matt Fink flying through with the block on the punt. And then Bill Bates with the recovery.
Wow.
Yellow Jackets are going for 2 after the penalty. They'll toss it to Hines. Hines lowers the shoulder, leaps over the goal line, and there are 8 points on the scoreboard with 9:59 to go, and they all belong to Hines 27. Denison Yellow Jacket football continues after this timeout.
By block, punt by Matt Fink, and a recovery by Bill Bates, Nathan Farley. Denison on top first quarter.
Speaking of Farley, he bangs this Cable One kickoff off of DeMarcus Williams' hands at the 5 into the end zone. And yet again, the T-Wolves start out 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
You want to talk about Anthony Hines a little bit?
I think we're going to tonight.
He came into this game as, we talk a lot about where Corey Robertson is on the all-time charts.
Who?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony Hines is 39th himself on the all-time charts. Remember, he was a starting tailback his sophomore year. He came into the game with 765 career yards and 11 touchdowns. Make it 12 now as he scores the first points in tonight's football game. He
has not started a game since the 2001 Battle of the Axe, a game that he rushed for 57 yards in and a touchdown. He's getting his first start in more than a year. Flag down before this one can get underway.
And let's
play can get underway.
Let's not forget, if it were not for Corey Robertson, Anthony Hines would be your premier tailback.
Yes, he would.
For the past several years, and that's not such a bad thing. Hines was very talented.
Denison is flagged for the first time tonight, offsides, and Yellow Jackets have not been heavily penalized this season, only 5 times a game for a 37-yard average. But they get the first hanky tonight. This is going to be Dews. Play action. Throws over the middle. In and out of the hands of his intended receiver. And then nearly picked out of the air. It was Chris Smith, the intended receiver, and Brad Aday who nearly got the pick.
Aday did make a nice play right at the 35-yard line to knock the ball out of the hands of the receiver. Talked to Brad Aday a little bit in the senior spotlight, as you heard. And he took a little bit with him from the game last week. Said he learned a lot from the South Lake Carroll Dragons.
He has had quite a fine season so far. Second on the team in interceptions with 2. And he nearly got number 3 there. Dews on a quarterback draw up the middle, has room to run to the 30 and across the 35. He'll get near the 40. The official says the 39 is where he is brought down, and the T-Wolves get their first down of the evening. And let's talk about Brad Aday for just a second. Mentioned that he leads the team or second on the team in interceptions. And he's only 5'8", 150 pounds, and he's going up against Chris Smith, who's 6'2" and 210.
But here's your key. He runs a 4.4.
Yes, indeed. He also plays great technique. This is Dews, another quarterback draw, nowhere to go. Pinballed in the backfield. A loss on the play, perhaps a gain back to the line of scrimmage. Second down upcoming.
Vinny Rhodes right on that line of scrimmage, making the stop right at the 40-yard line. It's going to be a gain of about 1, so call it 2nd and 9. And 9:15 left to go, first quarter. Jackets on top, 8-0.
Anthony Hines in the ball game, playing his rover position. Of course, he's very valuable to the Yellow Jackets defensively, and I would think, given the injury situation, that if Denison can get this game in hand early, you might see him not playing both ways as we go through this contest. We'll see.
Remember, Matt Fink in the ball game at the cornerback. Marcus Davis, kind of a calf twinge.
This is Dews. Play action, throws. Smith had it in and out of his hands. It was a low throw. He took it off the knees, tried to bring it up into the breadbasket, but again, Brad Aday with great coverage out there on the corner.
Kendrick Dews trying to hit that pass for the first down right at the 50-yard line, but his receiver wasn't able to drag it in. It will be 3rd and long once again for the Spruce Timberwolves.
You can see that Roger Cannon likes to throw it to Chris Smith when they do put it up. 4 catches, 84 yards. That's about as many catches as anyone on the team has, and they've already tried twice tonight. 3rd and 8. Dews trying to set the screen up, throws it over the middle. It is initially caught but then dropped incomplete. The intended receiver had the ball in his hands momentarily. Kyle Sanders had snuck into the ball game. He had it in his hands for a brief second as he tried to pull the high throw down on the screen toss. He just couldn't control it, and it fell to the ground harmlessly, and it is now 4th down and 8. and the T-Wolves will be forced to punt yet again.
Gutierrez back deep to punt. Hines in return formation.
Anthony Hines, of course, with a punt. Here comes the block. Denison got it partially yet again. The ball is going to bounce at the 45 and die at the 48-yard line.
Matt Fink once again right up through the middle partially blocks this punt. Denison will have great field position in Spruce territory. I'm thinking back to a couple weeks ago.
The Samuel Spartans.
So
8:30 to go in this game in week number 5 for Denison. It's actually week 4 on the UIL calendar, but of course Denison with a 0-week win over Terrell. And the Jackets leading 8-0 courtesy of Hines 27. Start 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. This is going to be a handoff. Means coming left side. Big hole, cuts it inside. 45 down to the 40 and had a lot of green turf in front of him. Here's the Denison offensive starting lineup. Second down now for the Yellow Jackets and short. This is going to be a handoff once again to Scooter Means. He is going to be just shy of the first down yardage. Gets across the 40 to the Timberwolf 39. 3rd and short upcoming.
Obviously in those starting lineup updates, Robert Hoogstra not in the football game. Corey Robertson not in the football game. Just FYI, back at home, if you're listening, no, Robertson is not playing.
Yeah, Hoogstra actually would have played, except he was in a fender bender today, and he's held out for precautionary measures. And Robertson was expected to suit up tonight, but the last-minute decision was no. 3rd and short, power I toss to Anthony Hines, runs straight ahead, has the first down, lost the football, though, from behind, and the Timberwolves have recovered at the 28-yard line.
Well, he fumbled it. Somebody, you're right, Lynn. He came right up behind him, poked the ball out. The ball went actually flying through the air for about 5 yards before it was finally recovered.
DeWaylen Singleton from his free safety spot coming up to make the grab. And, you know, one of the things that the coaches worked on a lot with Anthony Hines as a sophomore running back was he tended to have a propensity to fumble the football. And the Yellow Jackets, only 2 fumbles until now. They've got their 3rd after that miscue.
And he also, as a sophomore, would run through the line a little bit up. They wanted him to kind of run more with his shoulders down to the ground.
This is Dews running it, pitching it to Williams. Williams tries to turn the corner.
Boy, Jeremy Grimes is right there.
He said, I don't think so, big fella.
Nice. That's a nice play by Grimes.
Actually, Williams is not all that big, 5'11", but he does carry a load at 180 pounds. And as I mentioned, he needed 125 yards coming into the season to become the all-time leading rusher at Spruce. He's well beyond that now with 239 picked up. Actually, he lost a few on that play.
Well, they're going to call it a loss of about 1.5 yards, but I'm telling you, he was about 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Second down, nearly 12 to go. The ball at the 27. Just underway in the first quarter, 8-0. The Jackets already on top. This is Dews. Back to pass. Pressure comes, and he is going to elude it initially. Steps up into a bunch of black jerseys, and Denison gets sack number 7 of the 2003 campaign. He missed the first guy, missed the second guy, partially missed the third guy, but Jesse Dixon said, you can't run all night.
Yeah, Dixon's the guy who finally did get him at the line of scrimmage. Actually, it's going to be a loss of about another 2 or 3 yards. 3rd and very long now for Spruce, and I guess we'll see what they do here. Of course, they like to throw. One thing that Coach Brown talked about is that the quarterback is very dangerous. If he starts running, that's when they're going to be dangerous.
He did have 181 yards rushing against Roosevelt last week, and he's going to try to run again. Breaks the line of scrimmage, breaks one tackle, can't break the next as he got to the 30-yard line, and Farley takes him to the turf. And, you know, I think the Denison defense, Monte, smarting a little bit after the stats pasting they took last week against those 5A Carroll Dragons. If you eliminate the Carroll stats, Denison's defense is only giving up 123 on the ground, 152 through the air. Of course, Ryder put a lot of that up. They're only giving up 276 total and only 11.3 points. You add in the Southlake stats, and it gets out of hand.
Yeah, Kyle Richards came into the game with the leading tackler of 42.
This time, Gutierrez gets his first punt of the night off without a block. It's going to bound across the 40 and be killed at the Denison 31-yard line as Anthony Hines kind of limping a little bit as he just kind of watches the ball. Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man, Jason Smith. Jason, Anthony Hines okay, right? I'm not sure if Jason Smith is all right tonight. We're going to have to check.
Completely fine. I believe it's a little bit of a sympathy limp after that fumble that he had. He's doing absolutely fine. On Robert Hoekstra, of course, he had that fender bender this morning. A lady ran a stop sign and T-boned him. He was in the hospital for a little while, precautionary measures. He said his neck was sore, but due to the painkillers he's under tonight, he is not playing.
Toss to Hines, 30, 35, trying to make amends for the fumble and got across the 40-yard line. Picked up 9 yards on that carry, so Anthony Hines nearly getting the Yellow Jackets another first down.
Well, that is by far the longest that the Yellow Jackets have started in their own on their own drive. They started at the 31-yard line there on their own 31. They had previously started at this Spruce 2-yard line where they initially scored, and then later took over after another block punt at the 47 of Spruce.
Offset eye, handoff Means coming near side across the 45, and the Yellow Jackets move the sticks. Scooter Means has been putting together a nice season, and as you mentioned last week, Scooter does indeed mean business. 182 yards rushing coming into the game tonight. He's already the leading carrier as far as number of carries is concerned. I believe that's his 4th carry of the night.
Carrionzo Harris will check into the game. Bryce Woolard comes out.
Carrionzo Harris, the lone Yellow Jacket, with a touchdown through the air from Will Crawley. Crawley throws it. He's got Carrionzo, 45-40. Carrionzo down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Well, it was a nice little quick hitch. Actually, it was about a 10-yard curl. Caught the pass and then turned down the sidelines, made a guy miss before he strolled out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tried to make a cut, but couldn't and fell out of bounds.
Will Crawley with a very nice evening last week, despite the big loss to Southlake. Now has 18 completions out of 34 attempts, only 1 interception, 204 yards through the air, just added some more there, and he's got the lone touchdown. This is handoff. Hines running right, now cutting it left, got room to run, 20, 15, goodbye! He'll stick it in the end zone and put it on the scoreboard for the 2nd time tonight, 35 yards, and Anthony Hines 27 is off to the races.
Nice run by Hines, a better job of blocking by the offensive line. Remember, Hoekstra's out, a backup is in. Scooter Means may be the key right there, the fullback getting the big block.
Scooter Means with the nice block. And Matt Jones laid a vicious block on his side of the line of scrimmage.
Number 81, Nathan Farley.
Hines initially found that daylight, then found a lot of daylight back to the left as he cut the grain up the middle and sprinted to the left pylon. This is Farley on for a PAT. He is perfect yet again tonight. 4:01 to go in quarter number 1, and it is the Anthony Hines Show. 14-0, Denison in the lead. We're back. 15-0, excuse me, Denison leading. We're back for homecoming 2003 after this timeout. I need to stay away from stuff like that. Nathan Farley does stay away from stuff like that, and he is going to pooch it on the Cable One kickoff. It's going to be taken by Sanders. He's going to come up the field across the 20. Found a lane out to near the 25, and it's shut down on the far sideline. Benny Rhodes and company coming on, and it is homecoming 2003. And let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man, Jason Smith. A lot of happy faces in the crowd tonight.
There really are, and as you'll hear a little bit later in the game, lots of former Yellow Jacket players here tonight as well.
I think
I've seen a few familiar faces, and they're looking pretty good, you know, for 10, 15 years down the road.
Oh, yeah.
They might even play pretty good before this is all said and done.
Who knows?
Who knows? You never know.
Speaking of, Johnny Allen's here tonight.
That should explain everything. Kendrick Dews, the quarterback, back to pass, looks for Chris Smith, and yet again he hit him in the hands, and that apparently is the worst place tonight for Chris Smith. This time he went against Matt Fink on the left side, and the left corner for the Jackets, same result.
Yeah, he really busted him right about the 27-yard line, right at the line of scrimmage. Ball actually could have been picked off, but Fink was too busy just busting the receiver. And I tell you what, so I know it's early in the football game, but if there's an MVP so far, it's got to be Matt Fink.
He is definitely making a case. DeMarcus Williams, the lone man in the backfield.
He's blocked 2 punts.
Yes. 4 wideouts. Dews back to pass, comes near side for DeMarcus Williams. Hit immediately and dropped.
Desmond Baker right at the 29-yard line just destroyed the receiver. And I'll tell you what, Desmond Baker, I think, is one of those little best-kept secret type of ball players.
He is definitely putting together a fine season. When the season started, he was not even on the 2-deep list as a starting linebacker. He's worked his way in there. Tonight he's splitting time with Anthony Hines, of course, who's doing a lot of duty on the other side of the ball. But Desmond Baker, 15 tackles coming in, and who could forget that 80-yard interception return for a TD against Dallas Samuel. He got the stop there, 3rd down and long. Dews back to pass, has some time for one of the few times, throws it deep, and it's going to be, well, it should have been picked off.
It was knocked down at the 30-yard line. Jeremy Grimes and Desmond Baker both back there trying to make that pick. Neither one of them decided to go after it, and it was
the old,
down.
you take it. No, you go ahead and take it.
Yeah.
No, you go ahead. And it fell to the ground.
Well, the end result is 4th down. So, Matt Fink, have you got another one in you?
Anthony Hines coming back on the field after getting some time off. And one thing we do need to keep track of is it is a very humid night. All of the promised cool air, Alan Crone and Tom Miller, has not arrived just yet.
Maybe on the field, it's pretty nice on the field. In the booth, it's a little bit muggy.
It's always a little muggy when we're up here.
Sweating to death.
Matt Fink, he's back to receive, and the snap goes way over Gutierrez's head. He is back in the end zone, is going to get away a pretty good punt, and it is going to bounce. Hines lets it roll, and can you believe this? Gutierrez running for his life at the end zone stripe, got the ball, circled around, saw Nathan Farley coming dead on, and he got a punt away that took a huge hop and roll, and it turns out to be a 63-yard punt.
Well, it's one of those, if Coach Brown would have elected to keep with the punt block formation and Matt Fink up on the line of scrimmage, there's no way that ball would have gotten off because there would have been too much pressure.
Yeah, they definitely had the return on.
Yeah, there was no pressure coming from up the middle as there were the previous 2 times that they blocked it.
Straight eye look. Chad Roberts splits to the right. 2 tight set for Denison. 1st and 10. This is a handoff. Means plows ahead for a tough yard inside. Off the block of Gary Wetz, and with 2:40 to go, it's 15-0. The Jackets in the lead, and 14 of the 15 belong to Anthony Hines.
We have to say hello down to Katy Country's own Chance Cody, who is at the ball game tonight, sitting down around the
brand
second row.
The brand new dad.
Yeah, if you hadn't
well, not brand new.
If you haven't seen Chance in a while, you might not recognize him.
That's right.
He's got some hair.
Handoff Hines coming left, cutting it back inside, plowing people across the 45 to the 46, and he'll be a yard shy of the 1st down. So 3rd and short upcoming for the Yellow Jackets. Hines punishing defenders on the inside, and some pretty good blocking downfield by Matt Jones and company for the Yellow Jackets. Clock rolling, 1:56 and counting. 15 zip. The Jackets in the lead, looking for win number 4.
Jeremy Grimes checks out of the ball game. Chad Roberts will check in at the wide receiver spots. That's how they rotate the plays in with the wide receivers.
3rd down and short. $1:42 to go in quarter number 1. 3rd down and nearly 3 to be exact. The Jackets' Josh Vaughn will flip. 2 receivers right, offset look to the right. This is a handoff. Means coming left side. Big hole, 45, 50. 1st down and more as he's wrestled to the turf at the 46-yard line.
Well, he sticks his face mask right in the chest of Mike Mason and drags. Actually, Means made the hit. Mason did not make the tackle. You can give Means the tackle because he ran over Mason, and that's not the old pitcher for the Rangers, Mike Mason.
Not looking good for the T-Wolves right now. You know, I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, a good friend of mine from days gone by, Dennis Jacobs, formerly from Sherman, a youth minister in Mississippi, in Panola, Mississippi. I'll finish this in just a moment. It's 1st down and 10. Crawley back to pass. It's picked off, and this one may go to the house. Crawley, the lone man that can stop the touchdown, and Mike Mason is run out of bounds by Will Crawley. He tried to throw the quick hitter, and Mason was sitting all over it, returned it from the 40 to the Yellow Jacket 35, the 2nd turnover of the night, and the 2nd interception of the season for Will Crawley, and he is quite disgusted with himself.
Not sure if it was an errant throw or whether receiver just ran the wrong pattern We'll have to check and see if Jason Smith got a look at it. Jason, our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline guy. Jason, do you have a look at that pass?
Yeah, the pass was right there on the money. The defender just anticipated it a little bit better than the receiver did, and I believe he twisted his ankle a little bit as he made that interception because he ran out of bounds on his own.
So check Mason. He may not come back in the game. We'll have to check that.
Dews, quarterback draw, and he's pounded to the turf by Scooter Means and Vinny Rhodes. I mentioned Dennis Jacobs. He's been emailing me back and forth. He's been listening on 93.1 or on www.931kmkt.com, which anyone can do across the World Wide Web. South Panola is one of the top teams in the nation, according to USA Today. Last week, they beat a team at half. There's a mercy rule in Mississippi, and when the score was 75-7, the official said, it's time to call the game, boys.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever heard of 75-7 at the half. This is Dews, back to pass, hit as he throws. It is incomplete. And, you know, sooner or later, Roger Cannon's going to figure out, Chad Smith, if you want him to catch the ball, don't hit him in the hands.
Well, that's one bad part of that play. The other part of the play was Scooter Means playing linebacker, blitzing up the middle, was right in Kendrick Dews' face, made him make a pass earlier than he anticipated.
Yellow Jackets again. Grimes might have had a play on the ball. He was looking inside. The ball floated off of the hands of Chad Smith or Chris Smith to the outside. It'll be 3rd down and 9. So the story of the night is Anthony Hides and the Yellow Jacket defense, along with special teams play. Add that up most weeks, and it's going to spell a win. And so far, so good for Denison, up 15-0. DeMarcus Williams in motion. Kendrick Dews in the shotgun, back to pass. Quarterback draw, 3rd and long. Breaks a tackle. Can't get to the marker, though. It's going to be close.
Well, I believe
second effort may have gotten him to the marker. I thought they were going to stop him at the 30. Nathan Farley was closing in as Scooter Means had him wrapped up. They couldn't bring him down in time. Officials are going to measure. Let's give our Bratcher Home Funeral sideline man his first opportunity of the evening. Jason?
Guys, I think he's got it just by about 2 laces on the football.
2 laces.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty tight call.
It is tight, but I do believe that they have it.
Well, there's 16 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Denison on top 15-0, so we will probably let's take a legal ID.
Let's do it. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Next Media Radio Network. I believe the boy was right. It looks 2 laces shy of a first down.
Wow. Jason must have brought his scopes tonight. Really checked that one out. So 4th and 1. Big play here early. 16 seconds left to go in the first quarter. 15-0 Denison on top. Lots of new faces in the ball game for the Yellow Jackets because there are a lot of injuries this week.
Desmond Baker will flip sides of the field. The Jackets with Matt Fink and Brad Aday on the corner. Jeremy Grimes patrolling deep. 4th down, less than 1. Dews in the shotgun, and he's going to run it. He's going to get the first down as he spins off a block. The officials threw the beanbag, and the Jackets say they've got the ball, and they do. The ball came loose as Dews was wrestled to the turf, and the turnover bug continues tonight. We've had 2 punts blocked. We nearly had another one blocked. We've had an interception, a fumble, and now yet another fumble, and all in quarter number 1.
Yeah, that's a great job by the Jacket defense. Mario Polk coming in there to recover that fumble. Of course, he was a senior spotlight along with Brad Aday this week, and you heard a little bit about him playing linebacker and filling in for those heavy linebackers last year, Raymond Smith and Chris Hackworth. He and Richards doing a fine job this year.
First fumble recovery of the year for Mario Polk, the linebacker for the Jackets, 5'8", 180, and a senior. Straight eye, too tight look. This is a toss. Hines. He's coming near side, 30, and maybe the 31-yard line as the white jerseys close in on him. A short gain on first down. That is the final play of quarter number 1. Anthony Hines' longest run of the year, a 55-yard touchdown run, and he's not going to break it on that one on 2nd down and 4 as he picked up about 1.5 yards. Darryl Clayton coming over from his linebacker spot to make the stop. Sets up 3rd down, nearly 2 yards to go. We're just underway, quarter number 2, homecoming 2003, Lynn Burkhead, Monte Walker Jason Smith and Kevin Farr with you. Thank you very much for spending your homecoming 2003 Friday evening with us. 15-0, the Jackets up.
Well, we haven't really told you about Spruce, the way they look at it. Let me give you the visual. Red stockings. They're all white except for the numerals, and they have silver helmets.
This is Hines getting the toss, coming to the near side, and he tried to cut it back inside for a big gainer, but he got enough for the first down. His feet slipped out from under him across the 40. It's a first down, and we'll call it, well, it's in no man's land, kind of between the 42 and 43, so we'll call it the 43.
Yellow Jackets now moving left to right on the radio dial. Bryce Woolard will check out of the ball game. Here comes Carrionzo Harris and Chad Roberts back into the game.
Carrionzo Harris, a big reception earlier. Of course, the 28-yard touchdown catch last week against South Lake Carroll. Power eye look, too tight. Now the Jackets break. Josh Vaughn tight look to the right. Two receivers wide to the left. Hines dotting the I. Play action. Crawley back to pass, setting the screen up. Hines has it. 40. Looking for blocks. 45 to the 50. Hines still running to the 45 to the 40. One final block and he could go and he can't get it at the 36-yard line.
Oh, it was a great block by Josh Prado back at the line of scrimmage. It was a wonderful block. He's the guy who sprung that open, had his man on the ground, and was actually rolling on top of him as Hines rolled past him.
Hines not only does it on the ground, he also does it through the air, as you mentioned. He has thrown the ball several times this season. That time he caught it. 2 catches for 28 yards coming in. He added 22 that time.
Not only that, his receiving totals in his career are 151 yards coming in. That's a 9.4 average on 16 receptions.
2 wide right for Denison. 1st and 10. Play action again. Crawley. He'll look to the near side. Throws complete. Chad Price inside the 25. Spun to the turf at the 22-yard line. Yet another first down for the Yellow Jackets. Let's talk about Hines real quick. I can't remember if we got this in during the pregame. Hines, if he were to stop right now, would be the Yellow Jackets' all-time leader as far as passing efficiency is concerned.
That's true, but he hasn't thrown very many passes.
That minimum attempt thing would probably get him.
I think he's 5 out of 7 for 78 yards, 2 touchdowns with no interceptions, but that's only 7 attempts.
And a perfect 3 for 3 this year. He's dotting an offset eye look. This is going to be a handoff. Means coming right. A lot of room to run. Lowers the shoulder to 15 and pinballs to the 10.
Well, it was a great block by Vinny Rhodes to get in the way of the defender, and then Means made the spin, turned into, I believe that was the quarterback out there who he ran into.
Mr. Crawley.
It was Kendrick Dews that he ran into.
Well, in all fairness, the T-Wolves do play most of their starters both ways. Again, they only had 30 players suited up tonight. This is a power eye, too tight look, actually from the 11. This is Hines getting the toss right, looking for blocks inside the 10. Stick it in the end zone, put it on the scoreboard for the 3rd time tonight. Anthony Hines is on the board, and the Yellow Jackets own a 21-0 lead. Touchdown, Denison.
Well, he goes in the end zone untouched with a gaping hole on the right side, and to call that a 12-yard touchdown for Hines, his 3rd of the night.
Matt Fink and Nathan Farley awaiting in the swinging gate formation. Fink looking to the near sideline to see if the Yellow Jackets will indeed go for the single point conversion, and they apparently will. Nathan Farley, 14 of 15 in the PAT department coming in. He's a perfect 1-for-1 tonight after a 2-point conversion on the first touchdown. And Fink gets the snap down. Farley is now 2 for 2. And Denison is up 22-0. 9:37 left in half number 1 on 93.1 FM KMKT. The Yellow Jackets look like they're heading to win number 4. Homecoming 2003 continues after this timeout. Of course, it's Homecoming 2003, and on the Cable One kickoff, Nathan Farley is going to bound it down the field. A squibber. It's going to be taken by DeMarcus Williams at the 15. Looking for daylight. He is nearly hit from behind. Look out to the 30, 35, 40. He might go the distance. He will go. DeMarcus Williams broke a tackle and will take it 86 yards to put the Timberwolves on the board. He was missed by, I think, Scooter Means at the 16-yard line. Sprinted to the corner or to the sideline. Found the daylight he was looking for and was gone.
Well, once he turned on the boosters, nobody was going to catch him. Nathan Farley was trying to track him down. Farley, of course, the kicker and the safety on the play. Don't know how he got caught up in that, but the safety actually was turned around and trying to chase him on the play.
9:24 to go, and the offensive fireworks I guess you really can't call that offensive. That's special teams. But the fireworks on the scoreboard continue. 9:24 left in the first half, and the shutout dream for the Yellow Jackets is gone. After an 86-yard touchdown run on the kickoff by DeMarcus Williams, and Gutierrez tacks on the PAT with 9:24 to go. 22-7, the Jackets still in the lead. We're back after this timeout. Gutierrez on the Cable One kickoff, and Matt Fink is going to catch it at the 15, up to the 25, 30, still running, looking for daylight. He's to the 40, Matt Fink looking for player of the game honors perhaps, all the way to the 44-yard line, a 34-yard return.
Well, I think he kind of lost the ball at the end, had to jump back on it, but a nice return there by Matt Fink. Maybe he is trying to get the game ball.
Well, so far he's definitely in the hunt. He's got some stiff competition though from a youngster by the name of Anthony Hines. And I think right now those are our two players of the game unless something changes.
Well, I tell you, that offensive line, every one of them, that was a gaping hole on that touchdown.
This is Hines following the lines blocked. Not much running room that time as he tried to cut it back to the interior. And he goes down after a short gain. We'll call it 2 yards. Hines already with 92 yards rushing now on 10 carries, 3 touchdowns. The Jackets 181 in the stat book, total yards of offense, and we've still got 8:54 to go until halftime.
You know, we said if Hines had 215 yards tonight, he would be 27th on the all-time list.
Yeah, we're getting into the spirit of that Hines 27 thing. Let's see if he can add a few more here. 2nd and 8, offset I. 2 receivers wide to the left, the ball at the 45. This is Means getting a chance to run to the 50. 45 and still running into T-Wolf territory all the way down to the 41.
Well, maybe Scooter Means wants to be on the all-time rushing list as he keeps barreling through those holes there. Gets up to the 40-yard line.
Who was it that you were talking about last week that he reminded you of as the Yellow Jacket fullback?
Well, there's Bam Bam Pritchard.
That was one. I think it might have been Chris Jones back during the great era. I'm not sure. We'll have to check that. Hines trying to break tackles, gets to the 40, and the T-Wolves have got his number dialed in on this drive. A short gain, perhaps no gain at all. Collier on the stop for the T-Wolves. Speaking of Collier, Collier Sharp has the Jackets as a 40-point favorite tonight. How did they come up with this stuff?
I have no idea, but you know they're on the mark a lot of times.
They were last week.
The only one they missed was Terrell, and I think
a
lot of people missed that though.
They picked Carroll by 21 last week. Final was 51-28. This is Hines. Gets the toss, heading right. 40, 35, cuts it in, or still going to the sideline. Now cut it inside. 25. Oh. He sidesteps one tackler. Can't get past the last man that had a chance to take him down. It was DeJuan Singleton, and that is the only T-Wolf that saved yet a 4th Anthony Hines TD.
He sidestepped 2 defenders actually on that play and got a great block from guess who? Will Crawley, the quarterback out there.
Let's check that with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Is Corey Robertson laughing a little bit? Maybe he taught Hines well.
Yeah, he's very happy with the offensive production of the Jackets tonight.
This is going to be a toss. Carrionzo Harris in and out of his hands at the 12-yard line. Hit him right between the numbers and the shoulder pads. And the coaches tell you when the ball is thrown hot and straight into the midsection, you got to catch it out in front of you, because if you ever try to cradle it against your body, that hard plastic, it's like banking the ball off a backboard.
Yeah, you've got to catch it with your hands. Of course, Carrionzo making the great catch last week for the touchdown comes up a little bit short there.
2nd and 10, a timeout on the field. 22-7, Denison leading, 7:07 left in the half. We're back in a moment. 7:07 left in the half. The Jackets break the power I look, and they will send 2 men wide to the left. Hines dotting the I, gets the handoff, heading right. 25, looking for blocks. Sidesteps a couple of tacklers, still going 20, and lunges to the 16.
He was riding the block of Vinny Rhodes out on the right side, and of course the near sideline, and finally churned out a little bit more and got close to the first down marker.
We've got an injured T-Wolf. We'll check and see how long we're going to be here. I think it is just a cramp. It is a warm, humid evening, and with 6:56 to go, It is a Denison 22-7 lead as the Jackets look to continue what they started last year. Let's check that with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man. Jason Smith, Mike Fisher, Doc to the players. He does a great job keeping the Jackets in shape on humid nights like tonight.
You know, he does a great job with that, but as evidenced by this injury right now, not only does he take care of the Denison Yellow Jackets, but when there's an opposing player down, he's one of the first people out on the field to help the opposition player as well, and he's out there right now, something that Dallas the Timberwolves cannot afford. As I count over on their sidelines, there's only 11 other individuals in uniform tonight.
No, we're going to have a new rule. You can only win once per month, and that's going to probably only affect Bruce Ed Mason and
this week
Jim and Nona Taylor.
This is going to be Crawley, 3rd down and short. Hines looking for daylight, has the first down to the 13-yard line as the clock will roll. 6:44. And after they set the chains, they'll start it again. Update from Forster Field in Dallas. Drew Young and the Sherman Bearcats have gotten it going, 14-0 over Dallas Roosevelt. That in the second quarter. Our score here, the Jackets already over 220 yards of total O in the first half, and they've got a 22-7 lead. This is going to be a handoff inside, and it's going to be short yardage. Hines still churning, though, and found his way across the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Well, he doesn't quit. Once you thought he was stood up at about the 10-yard line, he kept those legs going and finally drove himself past the 10 to about the 8.
Of course, tonight is the final game of the non-district campaign. Denison looking for a 4-1 start, their best start since 1997 when they went all the way to the Class 4A Division II Texas Bowl. Let's hope the Jackets have another Texas Bowl in them this year. This is going to be a toss to Hines. Coming right. He's trying to find daylight back inside. And the T-Wolves simply have 27 dialed in on the scope right now. Chris Smith is in on the stop from his secondary position. And it'll be 3rd and long for one of the few times tonight for the Yellow Jackets. 5:42 to go in the first half. And we'll call it 3rd down and 8.
22-7, Jackets up on top here right before the Grays Credit Jewelers halftime show. 5:33 left to go, and I think a while ago you were talking about the fullback and Scooter Means. You might have been thinking about Rod Gunner.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was not Chris Jones. He, of course, was a standout linebacker. And I was trying to make sure I didn't call Rod Schiller's name, who was a great fullback at another school.
Yeah.
This is going to be Hines. He's going to throw it up in the air, has a man, and he overthrows him. And for the first time this year, Anthony Hines throws an incomplete pass. He had Mario Polk all alone at the goal line, and it falls incomplete as Hines just feathered it too much in front of him.
Well, Polk, that's a little bit of a surprise to see Polk out there in the flats trying to catch a pass. Haven't seen that yet this year. Of course, a lot of injured players, a lot of guys having to do double duty out there on the field.
This is not all bad that the Jackets did not get in the end zone. They need to give Nathan Farley some work in the field goal department. He's only kicked 1 field goal on the season. That a 38-yard attempt. He's attempting a 29-yarder here. Matt Fink awaiting the Jeremy Grimes hold. And there's a flag on the play. Somebody jumped, and Farley booted it right down the middle. And you know what? The net didn't matter. The Jackets have a new net up, and Farley put it right over the top. But a penalty marker on the field, and the Jackets signaling it is against the T-Wolves, and it is offsides. It'll be 4th down, and let's see, about 3.5 now. So maybe Bob Brown decides to go for it. The Jackets don't have a 4th down conversion yet this season.
Well, I think, just as what you were saying, it might be a good chance just to get Farley some work here on the field goal, and I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to keep the field goal unit out there, so move it in. 24-yarder now.
24-yard attempt. Again, Farley 1 of 1 on the year, a 38-yarder earlier in the season. Jeremy Grimes to snap. Matt Fink calls for the ball, puts it on the tee. Nathan Farley puts the foot into it, and it is good. So Nathan Farley has been perfect tonight in the kicking department. He's a big part of why the Jackets are up 25-7. 5:08 to go in the first half, and Denison beginning to pull away from the T-Wolves. We're back after this timeout. Not too far from downtown Denison, and of course the historic Katy Depot, the home of Katy Country, 93.1 FM. Another squibber that DeMarcus Williams takes on the run up to the 15. He breaks for, he's got some room to run initially as he sidestepped one tackler, but Matt Fink puts the crosshairs on him and brings him down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the T-Wolves at the 31-yard line.
How about Matt Fink?
Great contest tonight. Micah Hudgens also in on the stop. Monte, let's talk about something real quick. It's, it seems obvious Denison's going to get win number 4 this year. But this is not so much a game about how good Denison is as how good can they be. You still want to get better tonight. You want to improve and get ready for the games that really matter that start in 2 weeks.
Well, in a lot of things, this helps out in a lot of ways. You never like to see injuries. However, you like to see guys on the field that normally don't play, like a Desmond Baker and a Bryce Woolard. Those guys are getting a lot of experience tonight in case somebody goes down.
Hand off to Marcus Williams, spun at the line of scrimmage and falls forward for a couple of yards. Scooter Means is the man that brought him down, and Coach Bob Brown just a moment ago was preaching the gospel a little bit to Scooter, and I'm sure he was telling him something to do defensively, maybe a little more intensity. That's one thing you want to see in a game like this. You don't like to see the mistakes. You want to see sharpness, mental focus being a very crisp part of the game plan.
Yeah, the two fullbacks are playing inside linebacker right now. Don't know exactly where Kyle Richards is. Maybe Jason Smith can check it out.
Dews in the shotgun, low snap. He'll get it. He'll try to turn it upfield, and he's going to be held onto by the Yellow Jackets' Bryce Woolard. He got a handful of jersey and held on, and a couple of Jackets were in there to finish him off.
Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline guy. Jason, do you know what happened to Kyle Richards?
Kyle Richards, in the very physical game that the Jackets played last week, he suffered some pretty seriously bruised ribs, making it hard for him to even walk around this week. So, therefore, Kyle's sitting this game out as well, trying to get over those bruised ribs.
And he was the leading tackler coming into this game with 42 and 27 unassisted tackles. So that's a big hole on the interior of that defense.
3rd down and 6. Speaking of the defense, Denison trying to hold. Dews, play action. He wants to throw. Chris Smith catches the ball for the first time tonight on the quick hitter inside, and he'll cross the 45 and get the Wolves their second first down of the night.
Brad Aday was the man on the coverage, and Smith went up for the ball. Of course, he has that size advantage on Aday.
Not much Aday could do.
No, he really couldn't, but it was a nice play. And Baker was also there. Desmond Baker playing that rover position that Hines normally plays. Both of them right there playing kind of a cover 2 zone defense.
1st down and 10. Again, the second first down of the night for the Timberwolves. 3:10 to go in the half. 25-7. Denison in the lead. Kendrick Dews in the shotgun, and his receiver forgot the snap count. Oops.
Well, Frankie Crawford, the near receiver, was not looking at the ball as the wide receiver should be and trying to find out when the snap is. He was listening to his quarterback, Kendrick Dews, barking out the calls, and he just forgot the snap count.
It's the kind of thing that I'm sure must drive offensive coordinator Ron Gilly crazy.
Yeah, stuff like that is unbelievable when you
it drives any coach crazy.
Yeah, it really does, especially when you're not putting points on the board, all season long. Your offense has not really been clicking, and when you make mistakes like that, you're not giving yourself a chance at all.
Chris Smith is going to be the near receiver. 3 receivers split wide to the right. DeMarcus Williams and Dews in the backfield. And flags yet again. The back judge throwing a flag and the head linesman throwing a flag, and it could be delay of game, and that's going to be it.
Well, this one's getting very sloppy in a hurry. 2:37 left to go before the half. 25-7, Denison on top and cruising. And now Spruce is going to be first down in a very, very long 20 yards.
Of course, you only want to try to get some of that back if you're Spruce. Don't try to get it all in one play, but the Jackets kind of anticipating perhaps that Spruce might try to put the ball up in the air. Maybe a pick going the other way.
Be careful here with Kendrick Dews, the quarterback. He loves to run that draw in this situation.
He does indeed. 1st and 20, and he is going to hand it off to Marcus Williams, and he'll run up the middle, gets back to the original line of scrimmage and then some, all the way to the 50-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 6. So 1st and 20. I said you don't have to get it all at once, and they didn't, but they got most of it back.
Mario Polk makes a stop at the 50. I asked him in the senior spotlight if he's related to all those Polks and Sherman, and he said he was related to Tim and Les, if you remember those guys.
Unfortunately, I do. And so do a lot of other Yellow Jacket fans.
There were some good ball players.
Yes, they were. 2nd down, and they'll call it 7, actually. It's the ball right on the 50-yard line. Dews in the shotgun, back to pass. Pressure comes, lost the football, and he's going to fall on his own fumble at the 48.
Well, I believe Scooter Means came from behind him and just kind of poked the ball out as he went by, and the ball was rolling around on the ground And looks like it's going to bring up third down and very long as they got back on the football.
That was one of those fumbles that had a black jersey been right there in the right spot, it'd have been 6 because it took a big hop before Dews finally corralled it and went to the turf.
Not an AstroTurf hop.
No, not at all. But it was close. Second fumble of the night, and second sack of the night, rather. Third down and 9. Under a minute to play in the first half. The ball at the 49, and Dews in the shotgun. Back to pass. Here comes pressure, and Means blew DeMarcus Williams over, and it's a one-hopper into the receiver, Tyree Palmer. And it was a one-hopper from Kendrick Dews because Scooter Means literally bowled over DeMarcus Williams' block attempt. He ain't no Emmitt Smith, is I guess what I'm trying to say there. Not much of a blocking attempt, and Means nearly got to the quarterback again.
Well, it may have been a great effort on a blocking attempt, but Means, like you said, just bowled right over him. You know, he's a feisty little player, and I shouldn't say little.
He's not very little.
Means is pretty stocky. Now, he played quarterback coming up through the ranks, has changed over to a fullback.
Jackets have the block on 4th down and 8. Low snap. Denison may get another one. They just miss it. And Hines is going to get a chance to return from the 30. 35. Sheds a tackler up trying to make it to the 40, and he'll be stood up. I said the 35. It was the 25, actually. A flag on the play. The Jackets might have jumped. And with 37 seconds to go, this one is beginning to get just a little bit sloppy.
Well, and they were bringing the house. The Yellow Jackets were on that play. Brad Aday and Matt Fink coming up the gut once again, trying to block that punt. Got very close, but we'll try to sort out the hanky here. They've got Nathan Farley. The referee is talking to him over there, and we'll see what we can find out from the official as soon as he makes the call. And they're taking their good old time talking to Roger Cannon on the far sideline, the head coach of Spruce.
Yeah, Benny Russell, the referee out of the Dallas chapter, running the crew tonight. Let's check down with our Bradford Funeral Home sideline man. Any idea?
Well, guys, from what I could tell, it looked like a false start against the DISD team. It is definitely a dead ball foul, but is yet to be mentioned to us whether or not it was a false start or encroachment.
Speaking of a DISD team, Monte, the Yellow Jackets have performed quite well in recent years against Dallas Independent School District teams. Denison has an 8-game winning streak over opponents out of the Dallas ISD, and all 8 of those have come courtesy of Bob Brown.
Well, they're going to
not courtesy of Bob Brown,
courtesy.
But his teams that he's coached, I guess I should say.
Well, the
ineligible substitution.
Flag is going to go against Spruce here, ineligible substitution, so they Yellow Jackets will make them kick it again. Hines will back up to about the 25-yard line. About the 25 is where he will stand and try to catch this punt from Gutierrez.
Tyree Palmer is going to get the heat again. He is the deep snapper, and he's not had a good night. Hines, the lone return man, at the 25. 37 ticks left in the half. 25-7, Denison in the lead. Gutierrez nearly had it blocked again. He just got it off, and it's going to bounce at the 40 and die at the 36.
Well, this one was Brad Aday flying through with his 4.4 speed trying to block that punt. It may have even tipped it a little bit because it was a poor punt overall.
I think Gutierrez simply running and kicking for his life with that big rush up the field. He has had a rough evening as the punter.
If you can have a punt rush like this every week, you'll win a lot of football games.
1st and 10, the ball at the 36, and we'll see if Denison elects just to go to the knee and go into the locker room up 25-7. And perhaps that is what they're going to do. Power eye look. Nope, now they'll break it. Chad Roberts splits wide to the left along with Chad Price. Offset eye, and Hines, it's going to be Means, rather, getting the handoff inside, and that could be and should be the final play of the first half as Means is stopped after a short gain. It's been a good first half for Denison as the clock winds inside of 20 seconds. 25-7 is the score. Denison, the only points given up to their opponent was an 86-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
She's been in volleyball, track, and
Gutierrez on another Cable One kickoff. This time, he's going to let Hines do his thing. From the 12, Anthony Hines finds the wall up the middle, looking for blockers, trying to find daylight, gets away from one tackler, delights the home crowd to the 35, still going stiff-arming to the 40, lowers the shoulder to the 46, and Hines, 27, has left a T-Wolf writhing in pain after he pinned his face or his hand to the shoulder pads of the player on the ground and just obliterated him.
Well,
where did he get that from?
There may be an injured.
There is.
Spruce, yeah, he's down.
That's the guy that Hines hit.
Oh, that's the guy he stiff-armed. Right in the face. You know, we see a lot of that from Robertson. And, you know, between shock and awe, Hines and Robertson, there are so many highlights. You know, we were able to get a copy of the highlight film from last year. They were kind enough to give us a copy, and this year is going to be 6 times longer than last year.
It's going to be a 2-volume set this year.
It may be a double DVD set.
Well, let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline, man. We've got an injury timeout. Jason, what do you got for us?
Well, it's number 23 for the Timberwolves that was down injured, and he's
Frankie
making
Crawford.
his way off of the field right now under his own power. Frankie Crawford. Update real quick, Chris Allison out of the game with a hip bruise. You see him walking the sidelines. Number 34 will not return tonight.
Of course, one of the backup fullbacks and defensive linebackers for the Yellow Jackets is taking the pads off. Chris Allison.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to that young man in week 1 for the Senior Spotlight. Nice young guy. He was, you know, he knew his role on this team as a backup linebacker, backup fullback, and you know, he's very happy with it.
Hudgens wide to the left, Roberts wide to the right, Hines in the offset eye. He gets the handoff. He'll stutter step his way to the line of scrimmage and pick up 1 yard on the first carry of the second half. So the first carry of the first half was a short gainer, but it went for a touchdown. Or for the Yellow Jackets, the first play, I should say. And that first play from scrimmage was also a short gainer. Second down and about 8.5 to go. Coming up, the ball will be spotted just across the 45-yard line. 11:22 to go in the third. 25-7 Denison. Power eye, 2 tight set. The Jackets break it. Vaughn to the left and the tight look. Price and Kimbrell near side. Handoff Hines. Stutter stepping his way up to the line again, and he's not finding the daylight that he did early in the game. David Joseph on the stop, and it'll set up 3rd down and long.
Jeremy Kimbrell coming out of the football game. Noticed on one of the local television stations that they picked Kimbrell for their academic all-star, if you will, their A-plus athlete, whatever they call him. Kimbrell was he was given for that.
Power eye, 2 tight set, 3rd and long. This is Hines coming to the near side. Hit in the backfield, dropped for a rare loss tonight, and the Jackets go 3 and out on the first series of the second half, and they'll have to punt the football. Retreating deep for the Timberwolves will be their quarterback, Kendrick Dews, and he will retreat inside the 20-yard line, as we'll see who the punter is. Hoekstra was the backup punter. Vaughn, of course, the strained groin last week, and he is going to punt. We were told he would not, but the fender bender today in the precautionary measure of holding Hoekstra out has forced Josh Vaughn into action. Vaughn standing at the 32-yard line, and Dew standing at the 15. High snap. Vaughn can't go up very far with that strained groin. He got it and got away a pretty good kick. Dews is going to have to back away, let it roll, and it will roll inside the 15, and the Jackets will down it at the 11-yard line. Vaughn did not have much reach to go up for that high snap from Grimes. It's a good thing it wasn't any higher, because he wouldn't have gotten to it, but he got a great punt off.
Yeah, it was a great punt. It took a great bounce, too, to roll near the 10-yard line and killed at the 11. 9:53 to go in the third quarter. Denison on top, 25-7 here at Munson Stadium over the Spruce Timberwolves of the Dallas Independent School District.
Dews, the quarterback, Kendrick Dews, the junior, 6'1", 175. He'll try to get the Timberwolves' sputtering offense started. The only touchdown of the night for the T-Wolves was on an 86-yard kickoff return by DeMarcus Williams. He'll flank Dews, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. This is a draw play to DeMarcus Williams. Hit as he crossed the line, a short gain, 2nd and long upcoming.
I saw our own Bratcher Funeral Home sideline guy, Jason Smith, kind of roaming around there talking or looking at Corey Robertson. Looked like he was having some words with Will Crawley. Did you get a chance to hear what they were talking about, Jason?
They were talking about play selection, offensive play selection.
Okay.
I think what he's really trying to say is Corey Robertson might have been saying, you know, if I'd have been in there, we wouldn't have gone 3 and out.
Well, I don't know about
that.
No,
I don't think
he and Anthony Hines are pretty good friends, I know.
Yes, they are indeed. Dews from the shotgun. He's going to hand it off again to Marcus Williams, and he's got a little bit of daylight, gets a first down and more. Breaks tackles to the 30, 35, 40, and Desmond Baker is going to run him out of bounds on the far sideline at the 41-yard line. It looked like he might be stopped for no gain, and he found daylight.
Well, it ended up going for 29 yards as he crosses the 40. Gets to about the 41-yard line. 9:06 left to go. Denison on top, 25-7. But Spruce now with a long first down run. We'll see what the Jackets can do to try to hold the Spruce Timberwolves out of the end zone. Of course, it is, this game is not out of reach.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Williams, he's going to be corralled at the line of scrimmage for a half yard. But a score here by the T-Wolves would certainly get them right back into this game.
Bryce Woolard makes a stop. Of course, Bryce Woolard has done a really nice job. Malcolm Allen has been out a few weeks, separated shoulder. He's expected to be back hopefully next week. He said by district, and his shoulder was coming along really nicely. But Bryce Woolard stepping in has really played well.
Coach Taurus Rucker and Vinny Rhodes holding a conversation on the near sideline as Vinny gets a break. Second down and long. This is a pitch to Williams. Option play, and Williams is spun. The ball is loose. Denison has recovered.
I believe it's going to be Jesse Dixon coming up with the football. Desmond Baker may have caused it, but it's Woolard may have caused it. Prado actually comes up with the football.
Yep,
Josh
it was
Prado.
Woolard that punched it out. Josh Prado is the one that recovered. And the Jackets have the ball again.
Well, you want to talk about that. The defensive end, Woolard, playing great technique there. His man is the quarterback. He's got to leave the pitch man to the linebacker. And what he did is he stuffed in the face of the quarterback and then fought off his block when he pitched it and just knocked it out of his arms.
Roberts left, Hudgens right. This is Hines running straight ahead, breaking tackles 9 yards. Well, actually 8 yards. I got a little ahead of myself. 8 yards on the carry, and it'll set up second down. About 2.5 to go. They might call it 7 on the scoreboard. The ball is going to be almost to the 42-yard line. So second down and short coming up. 7:59 to go in the third quarter. 25-7, the Jackets in the lead and trying to convert a turnover.
Anthony Hines now over 130 yards for the game.
This is Hines running left, and he's got the first down. Got to the 36-yard line before he's brought to the turf, and the Jackets get a new set of downs. Hines over 130, as you mentioned. The Jackets beginning to close in on the 300-yard mark of total offense. If they were able to double in the second half what they did in the first half, they would get over 400 for the first time this season. Denison averaging 369 yards of total offense each game.
Carrionzo Harris and Chad Roberts will be twins to the right side.
This is going to be a toss. Hines running right, looking for blocks, and he plows his way over one white jersey for a couple of extra yards. Going to be a gain of 3, 4, maybe 4.5 yards. Darrell Clayton on the stop.
Well, Hines, they're lowering the boom. He finally is running with authority, putting his shoulder down, and really popping the defender right at the 32-yard line, if I can spit it out.
And that was the one thing as a sophomore that Anthony Hines really struggled early in his career to learn to do, and that was to run with authority straight up and down.
Well, a lot of sophomores have that problem.
That's true. Anthony Hines has got it going now, and Scooter Means has got it going as he gets near the first down marker. Going to pick up 3, maybe 4 yards. Third down and short. Callahan on the stop for the Spruce Timberwolves. The clock rolling, 6:44 and counting in the third. It is 25-7. A homecoming crowd at Munson Stadium quite pleased with the results so far.
Well, you got to be impressed with this offensive line, being able to just control the line of scrimmage. Of course, last week doing a great job against the JUCO team of South Lake Carroll.
Roberts left, Price right, toss right to Hines. He's finding daylight, 20. Stiff-arming his way to the 15 and out of bounds. A little extracurricular pushing and shoving going on. The official thought perhaps about reaching for the flag, but he did not, as two T-Wolves kind of rudely reintroduced themselves to Hines and drew a chorus of boos from the home crowd.
Well, and Hines did do a nice job with that stiff arm. Didn't see a lot of that from him before as a tailback. Maybe he has been watching C-Rob a little bit, because that stiff arm is obviously in Corey's game.
Career high numbers and counting for Anthony Hines, 152 yards after that carry. He's in the straight eye. This is Crawley back to pass. He's going to throw it up in the end zone. His man is there. Caught. It should be a touchdown. Flags on the play, and the official signal it is. Carrionzo Harris gets TD number 2. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard. Touchdown, Denison.
6:11 left to go, third quarter.
We do need to check it.
Oh,
Wait
now
a
they're
minute.
going to call it back on. They threw the flag in the end zone at the time of the catch, and we thought, that it was going to be against Spruce because those kind of flags normally are. But we'll have to check and see, and it is going to be against Denison.
Well, you can take that, stick it in the end zone back.
And you can take it off the scoreboard.
Take it off. It never got put on there because the scoreboard operator said, I'm not sure that's going the way that you boys say it is. It is offensive pass interference. You remember in Super Bowl 30, Michael Irvin, very similar, really got free at the goal line, and it's because he just shoved the defender down. And
Michael Irvin did a lot of that in his days. There's some rules against that now because of Michael Irvin.
Well, it's going to back the Jackets up to 1st and 15 from the 20 and hopefully just delay the obvious. Hines, the tailback, 2 receivers right. And this is play action. Crawley selling the fake. He's going to throw it, screen. But the T-Wolves had a man right there, Johnny on the spot, and he's going to make the tackle in the backfield of Scooter Means, the little fullback screen. Travis Baker on the stop. He was buying none of it.
Well, I think they tried to sell that screen a little bit too long as Crawley kept backing up and kept backing up and kept backing up and then fired a bullet into Scooter Means. And normally when you run that play, you back up a little bit, let the defensive lineman come, and then throw a dump pass over him.
2nd and a long 23 from the 28. So the Jackets not getting it going like they want to here. This is Means running right, breaking tackles, and he is inside the 20, down to about the 18-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 13 to go for the Jackets, 5:20 to go in the 3rd. 25-7, Denison in the lead, a touchdown wiped off the board, offensive pass interference against the man that caught the ball in the zone, Carrionzo Harris.
Well, and Carrionzo has had one great game last week catching the touchdown, and so far tonight has had a drop and a penalty in the end zone, which would have been a touchdown. So Carrionzo trying to make up a little bit for a rough start.
5 out of 7 in 3rd down conversions for Denison. 3rd and 13, the ball at the 18. Man in motion, that will be Mario Polk. This is Hines, halfback pass, Polk wide open, and he dropped it in the end zone!
Oh, it was a touchdown. He was 2 yards deep in the end zone. He turned around. He did try to catch it with his hands, but it went right through him, and actually the ball landed on his feet in the end zone. 4th down and a truckload, 18 yards to go, 4:36 left to go, 3rd quarter, 25-7, Denison on top, Munson Stadium. We'll try it again.
Coach Bob Brown just staring straight ahead, not once but twice. Apparent touchdowns go by the wayside, and now Nathan Farley on for a 36-yard field goal. It will be his 3rd of the season if he can knock it through. Grimes to snap, high snap, Fink got it down. It's going to be close. It's going to be wide left, had plenty of distance. But Fink had to hurry to get the high snap down. And after the turnover, Denison has 2 opportunities to get 6, and it goes by the wayside, and they'll turn the ball over.
Well, I believe he just hooked that one a little bit. It was kind of a high snap, but I think Nathan Farley will tell you he should have booted that through every time. But, that's unfortunate. You have 2 touchdowns on that drive, both of them. One called back and one just went through the hands of Mario Polk.
This is not the way that Coach Bob Brown wanted to run the second half, and he is getting a wide berth on the sidelines. Our very own Jason Smith giving him a wide berth. Handoff to Marcus. Nope, Dews is going to keep it. And he's going to lose the ball. Baker has it. He's going in for 6. Stick it in the end zone. Put it on the scoreboard. Desmond Baker, Johnny on the spot, caught a fumble in the air and takes it to the house from 20 out.
His 2nd touchdown of the year. Desmond Baker playing sparingly on defense. Catches the ball in midair. It was a fumble. Somebody, I think it may have been Farley who knocked the ball loose, but it was in midair. Desmond Baker took it like a pitch, like Anthony Hines would take from Crawley.
He caught it in full stride.
And went straight on to the end zone, 20-yard burst. And just like that, Yellow Jackets 31-7, 4:19 left to go here at Munson Stadium in the 3rd quarter. And now Farley will try to boot the PAT through to make it 32-7.
third defensive touchdown of the season for the Yellow Jackets. 2 of them through the air. That one technically not through the air. It was a fumble return. And Farley, he missed his first field goal of the year, but he keeps the PAT streak tonight alive. 32-7. Desmond Baker does it again. Dazzles the home crowd after going 80 for a touchdown against Samuel with an interception. He goes 20 after recovering a fumble in the air, and with 4:19 to go in the third, Denison expands its lead 32-7. We're back after this timeout. Kind of closed in on him a little bit now after that touchdown return. We'll give you a American Bank of Texas Drive recap in just a moment. After the Cable One kickoff, bounced off an up man, and he is going to disappear in a pile of black jerseys. And now, Monte, how about a very quick drive recap?
Well, it wasn't even a drive, Lynn, but we'll give it to American Bank of Texas.
Recap.
Desmond Baker actually didn't pick off. He picked it out of the air, I guess, a fumble, and took it all the way to the house. 20 yards on the return. 32-7, our new score. 4:14 left to go here at Munson Stadium. 32-7. Denison Yellow Jackets all over.
Okay.
Spruce Timberwolves.
Jason, everybody a moment ago was staying very clear of Coach Bob Brown. He didn't seem too happy after the last offensive series. He's breathing a little easier now, isn't he?
He's breathing much easier now, but still, he's not nobody's chum buddies with him right now.
This is going to be Dews handing it off Williams. Williams just goes down in a New York second. He hit the line and disappeared.
You know, talking about Coach Brown like that, I've called him the Clint Eastwood of coaches for several years now. And I think, you don't want to stand too close to Clint Eastwood when he's a little perturbed either. So if you can kind of vision that.
Hey, no offense to Coach Brown. He's a very intense competitor. For that matter, I've never met a football coach that you did want to stand next to when things weren't going the way you wanted them to.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Well, the Jackets are making the T-Wolves' day. Bad snap. Dews is going to have to track it down. Pressure coming backside. Throws on the run, and he completes it out to Tyree Palmer, the tight end. It is caught around the 41-yard line. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. It will be the 41. That was total athleticism by Kendrick Dews. It was a bad snap from his center, Courtney Callahan. And remember, we said that Callahan was getting the start for the regular center, Travis Walker, who was out with an injury. And the ball just rolled on the ground. Dews picked it up and hummed it in there.
Well, the defense really just playing outstanding football. You got to hand it to those guys who normally do not play. Josh Prado over here on the right defensive end. Of course, Woolard's out of the game right now. Prado is in. Jesse Dixon, of course, a starter, but a lot of these guys are new.
Timeout called. It's 3rd down and 4. The Jackets up 32-7. Might be some trickery. Some of the linemen checking with quarterback Kendrick Dews. 3rd down and 4. Let's see if they run some sort of trick play. It's a bad snap. Dews picks it up. Going to throw it downfield. He hits his man in stride. Chris Smith was bumping and grinding with the Yellow Jacket defender, Matt Fink, and he ran over Fink in the process. Well, Fink was stride for stride.
Well, there were 3 Jackets right in the vicinity, Matt Fink being one, Desmond Baker the other, and the safety Jeremy Grimes were all in the vicinity. And Matt Fink finally made the play, but it was a perfect strike from Kendrick Dews to his receiver, Chris Smith, who did catch the ball. Smith has had a problem holding on to the football tonight, but he made a grab for that nice gain.
3:09 to go in the third. The shutout is technically gone, but the defense still hasn't given up any points tonight. And they're going to stop Dews after a short gain. 2nd down and long coming up. Clock inside of 3 minutes. The only touchdown that Spruce has been able to manage tonight on the board was in the first half of play. After a Yellow Jacket touchdown, DeMarcus Williams took the ensuing kickoff 86 yards to the house. And that is the lone score by the T-Wolves.
Bryce Woolard checks in, Prado checks out, and also in the game is Jason Hua.
4 wide out look, 3 to the near side. That would be on the left side, heading right to left. Dews back to pass. Pressure comes. He heaves it up in the field, or in the air rather, but Whistles had negated that play.
That play would have been picked off by Matt Fink had it not been for a false start by Spruce.
Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline man, Mr. Jason Smith. Jason, you can kind of sense that the Jackets just want to put it on cruise control, go to the house, and begin to lick their wounds and get ready for Sulphur Springs in 2 weeks.
Well, you definitely want to get everybody healthy, but in doing so, you've got to finish this game out, and you don't want to pick up any other injuries. Doing that, A.J. Haith looks like he's set to come in the offensive backfield of the Jackets on the next series.
And talking about licking your wounds, I think the Jackets may be out of saliva when they get done.
Might be, but fortunately they've got that break after the 0-week game, so they've got 2 weeks to heal up and get ready for big battle number 1 in District 11 4A play. Dews on a quarterback keeper, breaking tackles. Look out to the 30, to the 20, 15, to the 10, cuts it inside, down near the goal line. He's to the 3-yard line.
I think they're going to mark him down at the 2, very close. And that's, if I were Spruce, if I was, Roger Cannon, the head coach over there, and of course I'm not, but they have had success doing that all night long. Kendrick Dews is a great athlete, and when he gets some blocks, he can really churn some yards.
Well, they're going to say his waist, where the ball was, is down at the 4. And so it'll be 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Too tight set for the T-Wolves. Low snap, Dews picks it up, runs straight ahead, and got a yard. So 2nd and goal coming up from the 3. And the defense really wants to bow up here. They definitely would like the goal line stand.
Yeah, that'd be really nice, especially with some of the starters out of the ball game. The Jackets really like to get some experience down there with some of the new guys. Of course, Grimes, he played a lot last year as a safety, so he's really not inexperienced in that position. But guys like Jason Hua, down in there on that front interior, have not experienced this type of situation. And Prado is not a starter every week, so we'll see what these guys can do. 2nd and goal from the 3. Dews and Williams in the backfield. The ball at the Denison 3. Spruce looking for its first offensive touchdown of the night. Low snap, pass up in the air. It's going to be a fade, incomplete in the back of the end zone. It would have been out of the back of the end zone, and great coverage by Desmond Baker and Matt Fink. Well, Matt Fink was running nicely, stride for stride with Chris Smith over there. It was a fade route. He went up. Both of them went up at the same time looking at the football. And Fink was right there, made a great play. You can't get any better coverage than what Fink had right there. 3rd and goal from the 3. Have we had a goal line stand inside the 5 this season? I don't think so. Perhaps against Terrell. But the Jackets looking to make a defensive stand here. 3rd and goal from the 3. Dews running ahead. He crosses the line of scrimmage, gets near the goal line, and he's going to be a yard shy of getting into the end zone. So 4th and goal from the 1 coming up. Can the Jackets do it? Can they dial up a defensive stop from 1st and goal inside the 5? We're about to find out. Well, they obviously will be going for it on 4th down. Dews a little slow to get up, and the clock is winding inside of 20 seconds, so there's a penalty flag on the play. That's going to be a personal foul on someone. And it's looks like it's going against the T-Wolves. Yep, unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Timberwolves. Now 4th and goal from the 1 is going to be 4th and goal from the 16. They might just send the place kicker in now with 17 seconds to go in the 3rd. Well, if they're going to get back in this football game, they're going to have to get 7s instead of 3s. So you may still see him try to chunk it again. And anytime Kendrick Dews has the ball in his hands, you've got to think that he's going to make something happen. One can only wonder why the penalty flag was thrown. Jason, you have an idea?
The magic words were uttered.
I kind of thought that was what was going on because Dews was slow to get up. He got up, and almost immediately, as he was limping away from the pile, the flag went flying up in the air. Somebody's mother was being talked about out there. Something like that. It is 4th and goal from the 16. The ball at the 12 or at the 16-yard line, and that may be the final play of the quarter. The T-Wolves in no hurry to the line. The clock at 4 seconds and counting. 2 seconds, now 1. And the 3rd quarter has expired. 32-7, we're heading to Jacket quarter. Homecoming 2003 has been joyous so far, and the Jackets are on their way to win number 4 in the 2003 season. We're back after this timeout. 16-yard line, or 16 rather. Somebody jumped on the right side, and I think it was a white jersey for the T-Wolves. And I think 4th and goal is getting longer by the minute. This is turning into a rather long down. And what was 4th and 1 is now 4th and 21. The 2003 homecoming queen for Denison High School, Rachel Sewell, is in front of the home crowd at the 42-yard line, wearing that beautiful crown. that she will carry in her reign as the homecoming queen until next autumn. 4th down and a country mile. Dews, he's rolling. Pressure coming backside. Flags down again. Dews is going to get down to the 11-yard line before he's brought to the turf. The flag was at the line of scrimmage, and it is almost undoubtedly going to be against the offense.
Well, they'll decline this and take the football because it is 4th down.
A.J. Haith may be about to get some duty.
There's illegal participation by the Spruce Timberwolves, and the Denison Yellow Jackets will take over on downs. 11:52 left to go in the 4th quarter. Denison all over Spruce, 32-7.
So after a 1st and goal from the 4,
and there's your first turnaround goal line stand, if you will. Now, they were chunking the ball from the 21-yard line, but it is a goal line stand.
Technically. Some new faces checking into the game in a few places, but not at the quarterback spot. Will Crawley still calling the shots. 11:52 to go in the game. A.J. Haith will be the Yellow Jacket tailback in the backfield, and he jumped the gun. Flags on the play, and A.J. Haith is going to stiff arm his way. Scooter Means, rather, to the 30, 35, to the 40, 45, and somebody better tell him he's going to have to come back. Scooter got all the way to the T-Wolf 46, but unfortunately, there's a flag.
A lot of this Spruce Timberwolves did see the flag. A lot of them kind of stopped on the play. So you kind of, that's kind of a two-way street there. I mean, it was a great run by Means, but
I can see Scooter's dad, and I think he's kind of chuckling right now.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, let's do the trivia right quick. And no, Bruce said, Mason, if you're online somewhere in Africa, you cannot win.
He's on a canoe trip with the Boy Scouts.
I'll tell you what, let's do this. This is sponsored by Cotton Patch. They're, of course, going to give away the meals, dinner for two at Cotton Patch. We want to know who is the last player other than Anthony Hines and Corey Robertson to lead the Denison Yellow Jackets in rushing in a game. Call 903-465-6200. First person to call with the correct answer wins dinner for two at the Cotton Patch. Good luck.
34-0 is the score from Forster Field in Dallas, place that Denison played a few weeks ago. This time, however, it is the Sherman Bearcats, coached by Drew Young, who are upending the Roosevelt Mustangs. And I got to ask this: Do you think the athletic director at South Lake is going to? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Defensive holding is going to also be called, so offsetting penalties.
And that's not going to make Scooter Means very happy.
1st and 10 from the 12. Haith in the backfield, the lone man in the backfield. Nope, there was Means. This is Haith getting the toss right, running outside, and he's got about 8 yards, almost a first down. I was going to ask, next week Sherman goes and plays South Lake Carroll. They actually get them at Bearcat Stadium. I'm just curious. Do you think the athletic director at South Lake might call the head football coach at South Lake in Monday morning and say, look, you're going to take it easy on the Bearcats this week?
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
Of course, the athletic director at South Lake is the former Sherman head coach, Ronnie Tips. This is going to be a handoff. Haith, and he runs ahead, plows into the line of scrimmage, but he may have enough for the first down.
You know, and we've seen South Lake Carroll, and I'm telling you, they can put up some points.
You better strap it on when you go to play the Carroll Dragons.
They can take on any junior college team and win, I would think.
I think that's not far from being correct. I went back and looked at the replay and was still amazed at how big they are. Jackets facing 3rd down and a little less than 2. Offset eye look, 2 receivers to the right. Crawley is going to hand it off. This is Means coming near side. Polk, Mario Polk, and he's got a first down and more as he pokes his way across the 25 out to the 28-yard line.
Well, maybe Mario Polk is trying to make up for that drop touchdown in the end zone. Maybe if he breaks one for a long one here, he can put that to rest.
Something tells me when he's running those wind sprints this week that it's not going to make up for it.
That's probably true.
I think they call them jacket miles or something like that.
32-7, Munson Stadium. Denison on top. 10:20 left to go in this football game.
This is going to be a toss out of the power eye. Haith, and he's upended in the backfield, but he had enough forward momentum that he crossed the line of scrimmage, and he got maybe a yard on the carry. 2nd and long coming up. This one probably all but academic at this point. 10 minutes to go in the game, and as with last year, Denison probably could have named a score tonight if they wanted to keep everybody going and they'd had everybody healthy. But Denison is electing to give people some experience. Of course, there were some injuries tonight, and this is giving everyone a chance to feel good about themselves at Homecoming 2003. Means gets the quick toss inside and carries a couple of white jerseys for 2 yards up the field. Boy, he's a tough runner in inside traffic.
Oh, he really is, and he did. He drug a runner. He drug one of the linebackers back there, and he's not on the roster, but he drug him for about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Of course, 3rd down and long, call it 6 at the 33-yard line. Denison on top, 32-7. 9:17 left to go in the 4th quarter, in this Jacket quarter.
6 out of 9 in 3rd down conversions. A long one here, 3rd and 6 from the 33. This is Haith running right, Means throwing a block. Haith cutting it inside, not going to have enough for the 1st down. Crawley just leveled his guy.
Yeah, it was a great block by the quarterback, Crawley, out there. This is going to be a punting situation, and we'll see if Josh Vaughn stays out there to punt. Remember, he's got that growing pull, but I'm not sure they have any other options.
They had Carrionzo Harris trying to punt before the game, but about the only thing you probably could do is call your JV punter up, and maybe not enough time to do that today. Again, Hoekstra in a fender bender today. He was going to was actually going to punt for Vaughn tonight. The last snap was a little high, and Vaughn had trouble going up for it. This one's right on the money, and he puts the foot into this one. It's an end-over-end kick that's going to take a Denison roll. Actually, he's going to end up taking a neutral roll. It started down the field and then kind of went sideways. Brad Aday kind of got the worst end of that whole deal as he got a shot put on him as he was coming downfield.
He really did. Now they will take over shop 32-yard line. Spruce will. 8:16 left to go here. Again, Denison all over the Timberwolves, 32-7.
8:16 to go in the game. We'll take a break next Friday night. It is going to be a well-deserved break for the Jackets, who are heading to 4-1 in non-district.
Of course, the Bearcats will be on our sister station, KMAD, Mad Rock 102.5. They will be taking on the Carroll Dragons, so you can tune in and listen to that. Of course, we'll have the post-game show afterwards.
Kendrick Dews running the option, pitches to DeMarcus Williams, and he drives a couple of men downfield. It'll be 2nd down and long. Chris Smith a little slow to get up. He got tangled with Brad Aday as they were battling their way downfield. Desmond Baker on the stop. 7:57 and counting. Don't forget, after the game tonight, you can hear the Extra Point Show with our very own Dave Hilton back at the studio, updating you on the scores and highlights from across the North Texas and Southern Oklahoma area. And don't forget, we'll have the Yellow Jacket Locker Room Show at the conclusion of this one, and we're going to have some new faces to talk to in our star of the game. This is going to be Dews, and he's got a 1st down as he shakes and bakes his way across the 40 to the 47-yard line. Kind of a busted play, and he found a lot of daylight as the Jacket defenders were going deep on the play fake. And with 7:27 to go, it'll be a new set of downs. And Dews, as I mentioned last week against Roosevelt, 181 yards rushing. You're seeing that here in the 2nd half, why he did that.
Well, he's very scary when he touches the football, kind of like Deion Sanders was. And when he touches the football, you get that feeling that he could go somewhere. And maybe Michael Vick, as Kevin Farr exclaims. That's kind of, you can describe him as that.
Definitely not the stature of a Michael Vick, and flags everywhere.
Look at that.
He's going to lunge his way for another 1st down, but it's coming back. The official does not even bother waiting for everyone to get out of the pile as he signals illegal shift by the Spruce Timberwolves.
Well, he had a 1st down, and it was a great run.
Legal motion, rather.
Well, Kendrick Dews just took off and ran and took 3 or 4 different nice shifty moves and kind of, he just made some great vision moves. And had enough for the 1st down, but unfortunately it's going to be called back, unfortunately for Spruce. Of course, the Yellow Jacket fans kind of like this kind of stuff, but unfortunately for Spruce, it's going to be backed up to their own 42-yard line.
6:59 to go in the game. The ball will be spotted back at the 42-yard line. Want to thank all of our sponsors, including Domino's. Boy, we were pigging out on those wings a little while ago and during the halftime break.
I just hope we make it through the game.
The great hot wings, they were hot, I want to tell you. Great hot wings from our friends at Domino's, and also some great pizza. Dews is going to toss it out in the flat to Tyree Palmer, his tight end. Palmer lost the football. Denison may have recovered. There's a scramble for the ball at the 48, and the Yellow Jackets have yet another defensive turnover.
Well, they were plus 10, I believe, coming into the football game on turnovers, and they've had numerous amounts tonight.
We'll get an update from Kevin Farr on exactly what the turnover ratio is in this game, but you're correct. Plus 10 coming into the game, plus 1 tonight makes it plus 11 for the season. Those are staggering numbers. When you're plus 11 in the turnover ratio department, good things are normally going to happen to your football team.
It means you can have a record like 4-1.
That's exactly what it means. 1st and 10, 2 receivers wide to the left. This is a toss. A.J. Haith running left, has some daylight, and he tried to lower his shoulder as a linebacker plugged the hole, and he picked up an extra yard, 4, maybe 5 yards on that carry by the junior tailback, the backup tailback. We'll call it 5, so 2nd and 5 coming up. Chad Roberts and Micah Hudgens checking into the game.
Okay, let's give you the trivia question again here momentarily. Apparently y'all are having some problems with it. Bruce is out of town.
Hudgens and Roberts wide to the right. Handoff, Scooter this is Polk, rather, in getting the call, and he is going to rumble across the 40 down to the 35-yard line, so it's another first down for the Jackets.
Okay, what we're looking for is the last leading rusher in a game other than Anthony Hines or Corey Robertson. So you probably don't have to go back very far. Let's just tell you that.
Timeout called, 5:48 to go in Jacket quarter number 4, 32-7. Denison heading to win number 4. We're back in a moment.
And he's huge now.
Is he really?
Yeah. Huh?
Handoff, Polk spinning out of a tackle, then another. 2 flags on the play as we come back to action in the 4th quarter. 5:42 to go. Mario Polk with a big run. It is more than enough for another first down inside the 20-yard line, just barely. But a lot of flags down. This one might be coming back for a blocking infraction downfield, or it could be face mask. Let's check with our Bratcher Funeral Home man, Jason Smith. What is it?
Guys, I was actually talking to Scooter Means during that play. He's got a little bit of a cut on the bridge of his nose. Looked like a prize fighter coming out of here.
Well, he'll be proud of that on Monday.
Oh, yes, extra proud, and seeing how many towels he can dirty up right now. But so I actually missed that play, but it looks like it was a personal foul face mask, the big variety against Dallas Spruce.
I saw Scooter at church Sunday morning. He is dating one of the young ladies at church, and I told him, I said, hey, forget last Friday night. Y'all got bigger fish to fry down the road, and he kind of grinned. I think he knows it. I think they all know it.
You know, these kids are football smart. Every one of them I talk to, they understand the situation they're in.
1st and goal from the 10 after the penalty. I look, Haith is the tailback, and this is a handoff to Polk, the fullback. He finishes off what he started, stick it in the end zone, put it on the scoreboard. Mario Polk gives Denison yet another touchdown as the senior fullback gets his first touchdown of the season from 10 yards out.
Well, it was a quick hitter right up the middle. Polk just making amends for his drop in the touchdown earlier in the 3rd quarter. Goes over from 10 yards out. 5:22 left to go in this football game. Don't know if we have a winner yet on our trivia, but I'll give you another hint.
Jackets do not have enough guys on the field. They're having a hurry. Go ahead.
That's not the hint, but
sorry.
The hint is the answer. His brother is now playing for the University of Texas.
Farley is going to kick a PAT, just barely enough time on the play clock. It was down to 1 second, and it is through the uprights.
I gave the wrong.
Wait a minute.
Tip.
Guess what? Is if we haven't had enough of them tonight, we've got a penalty mark on the field. It is against the Timberwolves. The extra point stands 39-7.
I've got to correct myself real. Well, congratulations Thomas Kemp. He's the winner of our trivia question. The last person to lead the team in rushing in an individual game other than Corey Robertson or Anthony Hines was none other than Rob Crawley. So congratulations to Thomas Kemp, who knew the answer. Again, that was against Ennis in that dreadful game in the bi-district championship.
That was the true freshman debut.
It was.
Corey Robertson.
39-7 is our score here. 5:22 left to go in this football game.
Cable 1 kickoff is going to be taken by the back. We got a new return man in there for Spruce, and he goes down sliding to the turf at the 19-yard line. Yeah, Rob Crawley. I didn't know this until just a moment ago. Rob Crawley, I knew he had tried to walk on at the University of Texas in Austin, and he made the squad.
Not only made the squad, but he's benching over 300 pounds right now.
What? Come on.
Yeah.
The former Yellow Jacket QB
is benching over 300 pounds. Let's give you an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap. Matt, speaking of American Bank of Texas, Rob Crawley and Will Crawley's dad is a vice president over there in Denison of American Bank. 5:15 left to go in this football game. Mario Polk scored on a 10-yard touchdown a moment ago, brought our new score 39-7. Denison on top. It was a 4-play, 52-yard drive.
Fumbled snap. Dews is going to fall on his own fumble. It was a low snap. We've got a new tailback into the game. That is Darrell Clayton, the 5'11", 211 junior. And the same quarterback, Kendrick Dews, he's had problems with the snap from his center, Courtney Callahan, throughout the evening, and does so again.
Let's check down with our Bratcher Funeral Home sideline guy, Jason Smith. Jason, you were talking to Robert Crawley a moment ago. Did you get an update on what Rob's doing?
I asked him, exactly how much Rob Jr. that is, was benched, and he said right at 300 pounds, which was 2 of me, is what he said. That's it's pretty scary. But yeah, he said he's doing great, and he himself did not know that stat. I asked him the question; he did not know the answer.
Wow.
Dews in the shotgun again, a low snap, hands it off to Clayton, and Clayton gets the 4 yards they lost in the previous play back to the line of scrimmage. Guys, talking about Rob Sr. talking to Rob Jr., if Rob Jr.'s benching 3, I bet Rob Sr. can't pull that old parental line that we probably all heard. Young man, you're still not too old for me to bend over my knee.
Yeah.
I don't think that works anymore.
I don't know. Those are some of the classiest gentlemen that I've ever met.
What a great
Robert
family.
Crawley and, of course, Rob was an outstanding young man, and I'm sure still is. I don't get to talk to him very often.
3rd and 12, swing pass, caught out on the flat, and it will be not enough for the first down. It was Darrell Smith into the ball game, seeing some rare action tonight. Caught the ball on the little swing pass, sets up 4th down and long, and I believe Gutierrez is going to be back for another adventure in punting. He's had quite the night on the snaps, blocks, and near blocks.
Well, we'll see what Mr. Matt Fink has in store here.
Shock is out on the field.
Well, they've got the return unit on. Fink will drop back with Shock, which is Hines 27, and we'll see what they do here. Probably won't bring the pressure. Last time they did this, they snapped it over the kicker's head.
Now they appear to have the return set on. Hines will stand at the 44. Fink a yard ahead of him at the 45. Gutierrez from the 12. No pressure. The return is on, and it is going to be Fink. He's going to have to back away from the ball. It just died very quickly. He thought about trying to come up and field it on the run, but it dies at the 49 with 2:56 to go. The Jackets are going to 4-1 in non-district play. The only blemish is to a team that has given a lot of teams blemishes, the South Lake Carroll Dragons, the defending 5A champs.
Our score 39-7 in the final moments here at Munson Stadium against the Spruce Timberwolves. 2:56 left to go in this fourth quarter, and lots of new faces will come in now. Preston Spindle will check into the ball game. He's a new face. And we'll
Matt
have
Fink, the new QB.
New quarterback in. Lots of new faces.
If Fink can engineer a TD drive, he gets the vote for player of the game. 1st and 10. I look tight to the right. Hand off to Polk, running ahead, and he's got 4 yards on the first carry. 2nd down and about 6 coming up. The clock will wind, 2:47 and counting. Anthony Hines, a career night. 23 carries, 152 yards rushing. 3 touchdowns for Hines, 27. And Corey Robertson doesn't pick up a single yard tonight, but you know what? He's probably still going to be the leading rusher in District 11 4A.
You know what? And he needs 3 yards to surpass DeJuan Gentry on the all-time list.
Too tight, straight eye look. Polk and Haith in the backfield. Haith gets it, sheds a tackler, still running, tough to the 42-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and short. The clock at 2:13 and counting. Want to thank Germain Designs, the official provider of the Yellow Jacket broadcast crew apparel. They do a great job, and we also want to thank the rest of our sponsors, including Cable One, Domino's, the Denison Country Club for the Bob Brown Show, Gray's Credit Jeweler for our halftime show, Cable One, the kickoff sponsor, American Bank of Texas, our scoring drive sponsor, Bradford Funeral Home sponsoring our very own Jason Smith, and it's 3rd down and short. Polk getting the call, and he should have a 1st down to the 38-yard line, 1:42. They'll stop the clock, set the chains, and wind it. Germain Designs, our starting lineup and apparel sponsor. Our trivia sponsor, Cotton Patch, our senior spotlight, is sponsored by the fine folks across the street at Albertsons, and the rest of our sponsors who make Yellow Jacket football possible here on Katy Country: Landmark Bank, Digital Solutions, Hutchins Plumbing, Texima Ford, TMC, the Cotton Patch, Quick Car Oil and Lube, Team Bonner, Allen's Plumbing, Nortex Heating and Air, Fisher Controls, the Herald Democrat, and our good friends at Grayson County College. And I think both of us attended Grayson County College.
That is correct. There's
flags.
While they're sorting out the flags here, Anthony Hines with his 152 yards will now move up on the all-time leaderboard. He now has 917 career yards. That puts him 30th on the charts, right behind Don Jordan and right ahead of Randy Blankenship. So, we now have shock and awe in the top 30.
This is going to be 1st down and 15 after the penalty. A new running back in the game. That's Scooter Means, and he's going to pick up 6 or 7 yards before he's brought down, and we've probably got one more play coming up with 54 seconds to go in the game and counting. 39-7 is our score. 5 starters out tonight for the Jackets, including Corey Robertson, and with a high ankle sprain, and everybody hopefully going to be healthy and ready to go in 2 weeks when the Wildcats of Sulphur Springs come to Munson Stadium. You better bring your loud screaming voice to the house. It is a key district matchup, and the Jackets just simply going to the knee, and they will do that. Matt Fink takes the knee, and that's going to do it. 22 seconds and winding in the 4th quarter. 39-7, Denison going to 4-1 on the season. 39-7 will be the final tonight. It wasn't as much as a year ago, but
how much fun is it, rather, to run behind that offensive line?
It's real fun, especially when you got them big boys in front of you. Ain't no way they can get around them, and you just stay behind them Pinky waiting to burst.
We've got to get a bunch of people healthy coming up in the next off week. What do we look for with Sulphur Springs coming to town in 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of people hurt. Corey, Vaughn, especially with Corey, just looking for them to rehab, get better. Sulphur Springs, big team. Lost to them last year. Hopefully we can get to them.
Speaking of losing to Sulphur Springs and a pretty good team, they've got a pretty good record anyway this year. Do you guys kind of have a little bit of payback on your mind?
A little bit, but we don't really worry about that. We go out and play each game as hard as we can up to our potential. We know we can win.
Anthony Hines, one of our stars of the game. We'll see him in 2 weeks as we kick off our district play. Another one, first time in the star of the game circle tonight. Mr. Matt Fink coming in. 2 blocked punts tonight. Pretty good game. Talk about your effort.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, the first half. Yeah, but it's fun out here. Defense doing hard, giving all the effort out, but I don't know. It was a great win, homecoming, in front of all these fans.
You're a pretty fast little kid. Did you think in practice this week, I didn't mean that derogatory at all, but this small in stature guy, but just lightning fast. Watching films this week, did you think you'd get a chance to block one of these?
No, not really. I mean, no. I was giving out all the effort I could give, but give all the credit to people that like people come up and try to block them, and I come around the edge.
Well, after you blocked the first one, did you think, hey, maybe I can get another one?
No clue. No clue. I didn't think I didn't know Lightning was going to strike twice.
Talk about, you came out and quarterbacked a pretty good JV team over the past couple of years. Tonight, your first real action under center at the varsity level. What's the difference?
Oh, everything's faster. Everything's got to be faster. But everybody works hard over the summer. Gets better, comes out here, works hard, get behind the O-line like Ahan said. Everything works out.
That's Matt Fink, one of our other players of the game, and hopefully we'll see him in this circle many more times before his career's over with. Thanks, Matt.
Let us indeed.